true contentment. A lot of people searching for contentment in a lot of other areas. So I'd like to take a look at Paul. The book of Philippians, if you're not familiar with it, I did a Sunday school on it a few months ago. Philippians is basically, they call it the most joyous book in the Bible. It's written by Paul, who's sitting in prison. And when I say prison, I don't mean prison like we know it. I mean prison in a dungeon, shackled to a guard probably. We don't know exactly where he's in prison at, but we do know he's in prison somewhere, and it's not a nice situation. But the joyfulness, what I taught in the Sunday school, what the book of Philippians basically is, if you want it in a nutshell, is happiness comes to you through things that happen. It's good to remember it, by circumstances. Joy comes from Jesus. It's something that can't be taken away from you.
Amen.
All right? So, the last book, I'll get into that here in a second. The last book is kind of a PS to the rest of the book. And I'm not going to make you guys read all this. Philippians 4:10. Paul, again, is writing this from prison. And just think about the letter you would write from prison. Many of us have been there. We did not write letters like this, I promise you. I rejoice greatly in the Lord that at last you renewed your concern for me. What a way to, at last you renewed your concern for me. Indeed, you were concerned, but you had no opportunity to show it. I'm not saying this because I'm in need, for I have learned to be content, whatever the circumstances. I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. I can do all this through him who gives me strength. Yet it was good of you to share my troubles. Moreover, as you Philippians know. Now, that's something else I didn't mention. Philippian, this is a church. This is a letter to a church that he had started about 10 years prior, before he ended up in prison. He was in prison for preaching the gospel, but he helped start this church about 10 years prior. So he says, yet it was good of you to share my troubles. Moreover, as you Philippians know, in the early days of our acquaintance with the gospel, when I set out from Macedonia, not one church shared with me the matter of giving and receiving, except only you. For even when I was in Thessalonica, you sent me aid more than once when I was in need. Not that I desire your gifts. What I desire is that more be credited to your account. I have received full payment and have more than enough. I am amply supplied now that I have received from Epaphroditus. Epaphroditus, the gifts you sent, they are a fragrant offering, an acceptable sacrifice, pleasing to God, and my God will meet all your needs according to the riches of glory in Jesus Christ. I think it's kind of neat. First off, he starts off that, again, it's a letter from prison. And, he's saying, hey, thank you. At last, you renewed your concern for me. And he still ends off the letter wishing them glory. There's obviously a time period when they left him alone. And he's still at the very end of this is saying, look, I want glory for you guys. Contentment. It's not born in you. It's a decision you make. Contentment is a skill to be learned. Where was Paul emotionally and spiritually? I want you to think about that. Where was Paul emotionally and spiritually at this time? Where anybody here been locked up before knows where are you emotionally and spiritually at that moment? All right? Paul definitely had the attitude, you can see here, that it's not a situation that regulated his satisfaction. He says, I was good before you got here, and I'm good. Even before you sent your gift, I was good. I was thinking a lot of stuff that people seem to be struggling with right now are relationships with other people. And I think it's real important that before you get into a relationship that you're able to say, I was good before you got here. I was good before this. That's nice. It's real cool that we can have this. I was good before this. I'm going to be good no matter how this turns out. Instead of two broken people looking for that thing that they're not going to find in each other. I am amply supplied. God is a God of freedom. I kind of found it funny when I walked into hear you talking about that this morning because I had no idea what you were talking about, but God works funny ways. God is a God of freedom. When God delivered the children of Israel out of Egypt, he began the process of getting Egypt out of them. All right? He had to get the mindset differently. He had to get them to start thinking differently. And we would rather stay with familiar addictions, familiar behaviors, familiar friends, all that familiar lifestyle because it feels normal to us. We choose normal rather than new. And a lot of that is based on fear. Fear and worry. You're so afraid it may change because this is what, even though it hasn't worked for us, this is what we feel like worked for us for so long. We don't realize that these core behaviors and these core values and these core the way we're living is actually the stuff that's making our lives miserable. So we choose to stay with what's familiar to us. Paul in chains was more free than most of us are right now. I find it pretty amazing. Paul expressed his freedom in chapter 1 of Philippians here. He talks about our freedom from fear. He says, I don't care whether I live or die. Kill me, I'll see Christ. If you leave me here, I'll keep on working. I love that. I love that thought. Kill me, let me die. I'm going to go up there and see all the people that I've already helped get up there, all the people that I've met in my path that are up there. And if you leave me here, I'm just going to keep increasing that number so I see even more people up there. That's what I'm here for. Chapter 2, he talks about freedom from flesh. That's a big one. How many here would like to be free from their flesh or even know what that means? Got it? Freedom from flesh. Freedom from things that make us feel good. Best way I think I could put that. Our flesh desires, the things that, again, the relationships, the drugs, even as far down as the caffeine, all this stuff that makes us feel good. Shopping. There you go. There's another one. Have we got some more? Come on. What? Cigarettes. There you go. Food? Yeah, food's a big one, huh? Especially when we get in recovery, we're like, all right. Chapter 4. Oh, I like how it's put here. I'm doing the will of God. I think Paul does a really good job at imitating Christ's servanthood. And he shows that. If you get a chance to read through, Philippians is a very, very, very short book. So definitely read through it. Chapter 4, though, is almost like a PS. It's a thank you. It's basically a thank you letter, all right, for the gifts or everything else. So it's almost a PS at the end of your letter. I can do all things through Christ is a weightlifting verse. God will supply all your needs. So we're going to call the PS here a perspective shift. Because that's what you definitely see Paul has done here. He's taken a really horrible circumstance, and his perspective on it is what's made it, what's what made him content. Again, too small writing. Thou shalt remember to rejoice is our first contentment commandment. So contentment means nobody has to remind you to rejoice. Paul says, again, I say rejoice. How easy is it to forget, if you have a selective memory, to remember the good things to rejoice? Look at Pinterest. You all familiar with Pinterest, right? Facebook. Anybody familiar with that one? Yeah? All right. People put up there the clips that they want you to see. All right? So think about what clips you're throwing out there in your life. Think about what you're focusing on, because if someone focuses just like a movie, when they make a movie in your mind, delete all that negative stuff, all the evil stuff, and focus on the good stuff. And those are my favorite people on Facebook to watch, is people that are real positive. Mark's got some good stuff going on lately. He's just some really cool posts. I know Ray, who works for New Beginnings. I love some of the stuff he posts. It's great. It's funny, but it's spiritual and it's good. I love to see those. That's the people I follow and I pay attention to. Everybody else, I just go, I don't care about your bad day. I hate to say that, but it just makes mine worse. I know it sounds horrible, but I'm just being honest with you. I don't care. I don't want to read about it. Get some counseling. Call your sponsor, something. Leave it off Facebook. All right, so make a movie in mind. Delete the evil, enhance the good. Remember the blessings. Rejoice in the victories. I don't think enough of us do that. I don't think enough of us rejoice in the victories. All right? We have overcome so much, especially in this room, people in this room. We've overcome so much, but none of us really, I don't think, take time to rejoice in that. To give ourselves that pat on the back we deserve. To realize the hard work that we've gone through to get where we're at right now. All right? I think it's real important. That's why we maybe elevate recovery now, but we all know it started off as celebrate recovery, and that's why it's such a good thing for us. We celebrate these things. All right? Even if you're not a person in recovery, celebrating the obstacles you're overcoming, celebrating the fact that Christ is there with you through all these struggles. That right there is just an amazing feeling. If you can remember that at all times, you're going to find yourself a lot more content. So bless the Lord at all times. Bless the Lord in the midst of battles. Not just in the good times, especially in the midst of battles, because those battles are helping you grow. All right? There's battles. He has you in those positions for a reason. All right? It's like going to the gym and working out, man. It hurts. It hurts, and it's awful sometimes, but you're going to grow from it. All right? You're going to be more fit. Now, God has you going through the battles he has you going through, so he can get you more spiritually fit. I rejoice in the Lord that at last you sent me a little something. Paul is awful at thank you letters, by the way. I don't know if you noticed that yet. He is awful. This thank you letter. At last you sent me something. Indeed, you were concerned, but had not an opportunity. There was a period of silence. He could have thought nobody cares about me. Paul easily could have written, hey guys, you don't care about me, obviously. You just left me here by myself. I haven't heard from you guys in so long. I've been sitting here locked up. I started your church. What are you doing for me? That could have been his perspective on this, which leads us to number 2, refuse to resent. All right? Paul refused to live in the prison of resentment. I choose to assume that you wanted to help me, he said. Yeah, so cool. Instead of saying, God just did one, he says, I choose to assume that you want to. If you choose to assume the best about people, watch what a different shift your life makes. If you want to sit and focus on everybody's negative qualities, you're going to find them all day long. You search for them, they're there, I promise. Everybody's got them. I challenge you to change your perspective like Paul did here and say, I choose to assume that you wanted to help me. Refuse to resent others in every situation. Just refuse to do it. Just try it. Try it for 4 hours of your day and tell me if that 4 hours isn't better. You can't live in resentment. You can choose to live in resentment or contentment. All right? They can't live together. Those are two things that are not going to live together, I promise. How do you view your past? Are you resentful of that? We often think about resenting. We think about resenting other people, resenting situations. What about our own past? Don't resent that either. Realize that's something that God is going to use for your benefit and the benefit of his kingdom, more important. God wants his children free. I refuse to live in resentment when Christ died to set me free. Amen. Just remember that. Just tell yourself that. Next time you start resenting something or somebody or a situation, whatever you want to resent, just refuse to resent that. Because Christ set you free, so you don't have to. Number 3, appreciate all seasons. Paul says, I rejoice greatly in the Lord as you renewed concern for me. Now, something about that, I was trying to study it, but I'm not quite there yet in my brain. But the Koine Greek of that was, your concern for me blossomed, is what that meant. I think, you think about the word blossom, you think of seasons. You just came out of winter, spring is upon us. Now think about it, that when it comes to our lives, the seasons, it's real important to recognize that you're in a season right now. If you're not content, you just realize this isn't forever, man. I think it's the worst thing to get stuck in your mind, get stuck in a season in your mind that God wants to pull you out of, or God wants to blossom. But so often we just get stuck up here. We get stuck in winter, and we won't let anything come into spring and blossom. Some people get busy in certain seasons of the year. God is not important as other things. I think it makes it real hard sometimes in certain seasons of our life. And when I say seasons, guys, following me here, I don't mean winter, spring, summer, fall. I mean, I'm going through a rough time right now, and that's a season. It's going to be over. But the best part about that season is it has a purpose. All seasons have a purpose. All right? God made the seasons for that reason. But some people get busy, so busy focusing on that season, so busy focusing on those problems in that season. But again, you just can't bloom. You have to live through the bad seasons. In sports, I'm not a big sports person. As anybody knows that knows me, kind of hate them. But in sports, they call it a rebuilding year. And what that means, to be real technical, is we suck right now. Facts. A rebuilding year means that I'm not doing well. Our team is awful, but we're getting better because this is our building year. All right? Paul says, it was a long winter, but there is spring. To everything, there's a season. I know how to have plenty, and I know how to be pruned. Anybody know what that means by to be pruned? What happens when you get pruned? Cut back. Got it. Cut so it grow back's better. Thank you, DJ. That's pruned. He says, I know how to be pruned. It's going to hurt, and it's going to feel like I shrunk up, and I'm going to change form more than anything. I think that's where a lot of us are at. We're in the middle of changing form. We've just been pruned, and we're about to blossom. Man, that pruning hurts, that cutting back and changing form into something else we didn't even know. We're about to sprout new leaves and lose a couple that we had already. And the pruning process is pretty important. That's a whole other issue. All right. Thou shalt keep a secret stash. Paul wrote, I choose to believe the best. I got your gift. It took a while. I didn't really need it, though. Again, he's horrible at this thank you letter thing. All right? Didn't really need it, he says. Be spiritually full before you come to church. If you're going to go to someone's house, if you're going to go to someone's house and you're not quite sure of their ability to cook, stop and get something to eat before you get there. Show up full so you don't have to eat too much, all right? So it doesn't matter what they cook. You're going to be full already. Be spiritually full at all times. Don't come into church this morning. If you're up here going, if you're down there looking up here going, seriously, he's letting Casey do this? That shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter at all. You got your own relationship with God. If you already come here, I can tell you right now, I just had this conversation with Mark here recently. I try to, on Wednesdays, before Celebrate Recovery, I always try and get myself, it takes me about an hour or two to get prepared because I try to start praising and worshiping. About an hour to 2 hours. I start listening to the right music. I get myself to where I'm already praising and worshiping before I show up. All right? I'm already full. I'm already got some praise and worship in me. I'm not coming there to get it. And when I wasn't doing that, you could really tell the difference. The sincerity of my praise and worship. So be spiritually full before you come to church. Crack open that Bible. Have some knowledge already. It shouldn't matter. All this is dessert. This is a treat. This is time to come spend time with your family. All right? It's nice, but I don't need it. You don't have to need it. You don't have to need the message. You don't have to need anything from anybody because God's already given you everything. I get high on my own supply. I have some songs I can sing all by myself. I have some scripture already in my head. Get into the Word. Start listening to the words of these songs. Don't just sing along with them and blab some lyrics out. Seriously, listen to lyrics. I try to pick out songs that are appropriate for what a lot of us are going through. So you really truly listen to those lyrics. And then when you're going through bad times, get those song lyrics in your head. Get those scriptures in your head. It's going to help. That'll help with contentment more than anything I can think of. For me, it does at least. Number 5 is thou shalt not confuse the supply with the source. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I rejoice in the Lord for sending the gift, not I rejoice in the gift. A lot of us, we're waiting for something. We're in that grind mode right now, not really realizing that the gift is in the grind. All right? The gift is the ability to be put through the situation right now. The ability to be pruned is a blessing. All right? But when we finally get these things that we've been asking for so long, I think a lot of us forget where it came from. We think that we worked hard for it. I'm a beast, I'm a boss. All right? No, you're not. Sorry. No, you're not. God is a beast. God is a boss. He worked through you to do something that I promise you could not have done by yourself. And I think so much of us fight for such a life change that when those life changes start to happen, in recovery and relationship changes and life starts to get better and we get a car, we get a job, and get a girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever else we get there. I watch so many people just fall away from what truly gave that to them. They forget so fast who gave that to them. And you just see them fall off. Believe in God. I personally can tell you, I had lots of money at one point. I mean, ridiculous amounts of money. I did horrible things with that money. I wasted it, bought trucks, cars, motorcycles, junk. God's not blessing me with money today. That's a fact. Because I didn't do good with what he gave me before. All right? I wasn't appreciative of what he gave me prior. I definitely confused the supply with the source because I was more concerned about the supply than I was about the source it came from. However God blesses you in every season, he was the one who provided it. You might be living in dual seasons. And what I mean by that is you might be plentiful in one area and you might be starving in another area right now. All right? Just remember, again, those are just seasons. All right? But God has a reason for that. He is the source of what you're plentiful for. And he has a reason for what you don't have yet. And a lot of it is how you're treating the stuff that you got. That's a big part of it, is how you're treating the stuff you got. He's not going to give you any more of his glory and his blessings until you learn how to treat better the stuff that he's given you already and have respect and know where it came from. Everybody needs to know, everybody in your life needs to know, no matter how good or bad, it's from God's hands. God gives you everything. So to go around, again, I love to post on Facebook, I'm a beast, I'm a boss, I got this beast mode goals, hashtag blah, 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 hashtag. All right? All about me. I did this. I'm a beast. I got myself. Even the people that post, I hate that little app that says, I got 7 months, 6 hours, blah, 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 blah. I wish that app said, God gave me 7 hours. You know what I mean? Because you don't have that. You ain't got nothing. I promise. Without him, you have nothing. And you start telling people that too, so they know how to get it. I think you're cheating each other by going around making everybody think, especially people new in recovery. You're running around making them think that they can do this on their own by saying, hey, look, watch me. I'm a boss. I'm a beast. I got this. That's not fair to them. And no matter, it's not just with recovery. It's anything in your life. If you got a good business, if you've got a nice life, I think it's pretty selfish of you to ever say that you did that. I think it's pretty necessary that you say God gave that to you so that they know how to get it. I don't know how to get it the right way if you don't tell me. So tell me to focus on God first so I can have that too. Don't reject the blessing because of the burden. Need I say more? A lot of time we reject a lot of blessings that we don't realize are blessings yet to come because of the burden that they are right now. We don't want to go through the burdens right now that it's going to take to get that blessing. So in all actuality, by rejecting that burden, we're rejecting some blessings too. God is my source. If you believe that, you will have no problem following him. That's a fact. Thou shalt not downplay disappointment. It's okay to be disappointed. All right? You don't have to go out there. None of this is telling you to play Pollyanna and just, everything's so wonderful. Nobody's saying that either. Okay? Don't get that confused with these contentment commandments. Nobody's saying go run around and that person's annoying too. It's okay to be disappointed. I've learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. I can tell you right now, I am the poorest I've ever been, I think. I don't have half the stuff I used to have, all the material things I used to have. I'm not in a relationship. My life's pretty different than it ever was before, but I can tell you honestly and truly, I am so much happier than I've ever imagined. But at the same time, I'm disappointed too, because I don't have those things, and I want them. But that's just being honest. I'm still finding joy, even though I'm disappointed. I like to have some of those things, but it's okay that I don't. God strengthens us through the valleys. The gift is in the grind. Growth hurts. Rain brings growth for the seed. You don't hear farmers complain about rain, ever. I love that stuff, all right? Here we are like, I hate this weather. Farmers love it because it's growth for the seed. So when it's raining in your life, when it's raining problems and it's raining and it's downpouring in your life, understand God's doing something in you. That seed in you is growing. Only God knows his plan. Quit thinking you know it. Quit thinking you got this. I know what God's doing. No, you don't. You might have an idea, but no, you don't. I promise. You don't. Only God knows his plan, and trust him in that. Again, you'll find contentment. Thou shalt recognize. Recognize the blessings you do have. I receive full payment and have more than enough. I am amply supplied, now that I have received from Epaphroditus the gifts you sent. We all have an Epaphroditus. Can we all say Epaphroditus? Yeah, not bad. I have a hard time with it. We all have an Epaphroditus in our life. We all have something, a gift that God has brought us that we just don't even realize is there. We need to recognize the gifts that are there. When you start recognizing those gifts, you're going to find so much more contentment in your life. You're overlooking a lot of them. You don't realize, I have gratitude. Go back to gratitude. You wake up every morning grateful for the things that you do have. It's going to be hard to have a pretty bad day. Just stay grateful. Stay in a constant attitude of gratitude. Thou shalt release. Release the frustration, the anger, and the worry. Surrender. What that means? It means surrender. Release the frustration. Surrender that to God. Release the anger and the worry. Surrender that to God. Sometimes we don't recognize the good things we have. We don't have a lack of supply. It's just we don't allow God to supply our needs. We don't want to supply our own needs, what we think we need. So letting God supply our needs. Sometimes we're too proud to obey. you know. And again, a lot of the obeying has to do with we're fear of change. We're fear of how other people look at us, afraid to be weak. You know, that's not God wants us as weak. God wants us weak. We're so afraid to be weak. You never meet somebody that walks around going, "Hi, I'm Casey, I'm weak." It's not really an attractive quality in our world. But in God's eyes, he wants us weak. So surrender it all to him. We've all heard it, let go and let God. I think it's more important than after you let go and let God, you just don't pick it back up either. Don't try and take it back. That's what a lot of us do. Try and take that back again. Now, as thou shalt receive. God has so much he wants you to receive, but you're too busy looking for what you want to receive. I don't know if I'll get out of prison, Paul says. He says, I will not leave this place of confidence in the provision of God, even in prison. I thought we would put the word confidence in there, because I think a lot of this contentment, I think confidence, people say that confidence is an attractive quality, but I think without contentment, it's real hard to have confidence too. Be assured God is giving you all you need right now. He is. I promise you, you're sitting in this room. So I promise you, he's giving you all you need right now. Stop fighting God's will to live according to your own will. If that relationship's not working out, cut it. If that thing you're trying to do, that thing you're still holding on to, that goal you have in mind, it's just not there. It's that job you want, or that thing you want, or that relationship. With not just a romantic relationship, but the friendships and the old connections. And you start getting this pit in your stomach after a while. Or at least I do. When I call back and I talk to some people back home or whatever, I get this pit in my stomach. That's my telltale that I'm living outside of God's will. He does not want me calling those people. He doesn't. I have an ex-girlfriend who likes to call and get in my head every once in a while. And now, as soon as she calls, I get that pit in my stomach. I don't even answer it anymore. I just cut it. I don't want any part of that. I'm not going to keep fighting God's will just because I want that. Stop fighting God's will to live according to your own. Thou shalt remain. God is going to use you where you are. Paul says, it's not about me. It's not about Caesar. It's all about Jesus. I am free indeed. Trust that God has you right where he wants you right now. Again, that's going to add so much contentment, knowing you're right where you're supposed to be. Peace, be still. You know where that came from? Someone give me a book. No, peace, be still. Book of John. Book of John. When Jesus stands in the boat, looks at the water going crazy, and says, peace, be still. Be still. Just be still right now. It's okay. You don't have to move as fast as you think you have to move. You don't have to get that job right now. You're okay right now. Be content with that. Be okay with that. God has you where he wants you. He's moving at his pace. When it's time, you'll know. When it's time to move forward, you will know, I promise. As opportunities will come, it's going to happen. You'll know in your heart. And it won't be such a struggle, I feel. That's my opinion, at least. When you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, it won't be a struggle. I can tell you, when I was looking for some kind of faith-based rehab, something along those lines, and I could not get, before that, when I just had medical problems, stuff like that, I couldn't get Medicaid at all. They would not give me Medicaid, wouldn't give me Medicaid just because how much money I'd made in the last few years. They would not give me Medicaid. A friend of mine told me about Mended Reeds, and that was on Sunday. On Monday, I called Medicaid. On Tuesday, I had Medicaid. On Thursday, I had a ride to Ironton, Ohio. On Friday, here I was. That all happened like this. All right? Even the obstacles that came my way, my roommate had relapsed that I came down here to stay with. And I thought it was going to be the end of the world, God kept making a way. He made it easy. This church came into my life and helped me out. And it just became, everything's so easy. If you're doing the stuff God wants you to do, it's going to be easy. It's not going to be an uphill struggle, I promise you. There's going to be a fight. Don't get me wrong. You can't be lazy and do this. But you're not going to run into obstacles at every given corner, I promise. Stop trying to move faster than God's will. So I want you to keep in your mind, I'm going to end this off right here. Just keep in your mind, ready? As you're going through something this week, keep in mind, I surrender. When it's just causing you anxiety and worry, and it's that ucky feeling comes inside of you. I don't know if ucky is really a word, but it is now. Think about I surrender. Just surrender to God. When you're feeling, when your self-esteem is just kind of down and you're thinking about your past and you're thinking about the stuff you've done, and just think, I've been redeemed. Stuff's gone, man. When you wake up in the morning, think, how great is our God? When you're feeling at your lowest, that depressed moment, and your chemicals are all going crazy because whatever, lift your head, weary sinner. Amen. Remember, I'm a child of the one true King. Remember, he is a chain breaker. When it all seems out of control, when it all seems crazy, in the eye of the storm, he remains in control. And when you're feeling fearful, remember, fear is a liar. I really do challenge you guys to just try. These are honesties. I truly do. I swear to you, I really do this. I start singing these song lyrics. You know more than the song lyrics, it helps. But just even thinking the song names, it helps you. It really, truly does. Just to have that, to have those weapons. Pastor was talking about, having weapons ready. When he's talking through Ephesians, you got to have those weapons to fight depression, to fight worry, to fight anxiety, to fight everything that's going to leave you outside of contentment. All right, and for me, these are I just want to share with you my weapons. So, I thank you guys very much, and hope you have a good week. I'm going to turn this over. Let Pastor pray us out of here.